It started on a Tuesday night late enough that the silence of my apartment felt heavier than usual. I was FaceTiming a friend, just rambling about nothing, when I noticed something odd. Not on the screen at first, just a feeling. You know that skin prickling awareness that someone's behind you? But I lived alone. I told myself I was tired, sleep deprived, but then I glanced at the screen, at my own camera feed in the corner, and I froze. Behind me, barely visible in the shadows of my hallway, was a figure, tall, unmoving. Its shape was faint, almost translucent, like static woven into the air. I turned around instantly, nothing. Just the hallway, empty as always. But when I turned back to the screen, it was still there, standing closer. My friend saw nothing on their end. I laughed it off, trying to mask the chill crawling across my neck, and ended the call. I tried testing it, opened the camera again. No one. Then switched to selfie mode, and there it was, watching me. Always in the same place. A shadow in the exact spot just behind me. I cleaned the lens, closed the app, restarted my phone. Nothing worked. It only appeared when I looked through the front-facing camera, and only when I was alone. I stopped sleeping that night. Every time I held the phone up, it was there, not moving. Just standing, closer. Each time I blinked, I swear the distance shrank by inches. I stopped looking, but sometimes when I pass a dark window or a mirror, I feel like something's still behind me, waiting. I stopped using the front camera. At least I tried to. But curiosity is a sickness and fear is worse. A week passed before I slipped again. I was brushing my teeth, phone on the bathroom counter, when I accidentally tapped the screen. The front camera turned on. I nearly dropped it. The figure was back, same hallway, same pose. But now the features were clearer. A man or something shaped like one. No face, just a blur where a face should be, like someone tried to scrub it out with shaking hands. It wasn't standing anymore either. It was leaning, closer to the camera, closer to me. From then on, it started appearing in reflections, mirrors, glass doors, even my TV screen. Never directly, never in reality. Only when there was a layer between us, like the lens acted as a doorway, it couldn't quite step through. I'd catch its outline behind me as I brushed past a window. Always just far enough for me to question if it was ever really there. I began avoiding all reflective surfaces. My apartment slowly turned into a bunker, mirrors taken down, windows covered, phone camera taped over. Still, I couldn't shake the feeling that it was watching. No matter where I stood, I could feel its stare pressing down on the back of my neck like cold breath. Then one night, my friend sent me a selfie we had taken together at a coffee shop 2 weeks ago. It was a normal photo. Almost. But in the background, standing just beyond the window behind me, was the same blurred figure, head tilted. Almost as if it knew I'd see it eventually. That was before it started following me outside. I didn't leave my apartment for days after that. But when I finally stepped outside, just for groceries, just for 5 minutes, I felt it again. That suffocating awareness, that undeniable presence. I checked every reflection I passed, nothing, until I reached the freezer aisle. As I walked past the glass doors, I saw my reflection, but it wasn't me, not exactly. The figure staring back was wearing my clothes, standing in my posture, but it wasn't synchronized. When I stopped, it kept walking. When I blinked, it didn't. It was off by just a second, like a puppet whose strings had frayed. My cart rolled into a shelf. A man behind me muttered something, but I didn't respond. I couldn't look away. Then the reflection smiled. I didn't. I left the store without buying anything. That night, I recorded myself sleeping. It was a desperate move. I needed to prove something was wrong. I fast-forwarded through the footage the next morning, hours of stillness. Then at 3:42 a.m., I saw it. a figure standing at the foot of my bed. It didn't move, it didn't breathe, but it was me, wearing what I wore the day before, standing unnaturally straight, staring. Then suddenly it turned and walked away, right through the bedroom wall. I showed the footage to my friend. She watched it, pale-faced, and just said, "Why are you pranking me?" She didn't believe me. None of them did. Until she called me yesterday in a panic, said she saw me in her hallway last night. Sighed I didn't speak, just stood there, watching her sleep. But I never left my apartment. And now, when I speak into the mirror, sometimes I hear my voice answering back before I even say anything. I started hearing things, little things. My own voice whispering from another room, the soft creak of footsteps when I was perfectly still. My name spoken just behind me, low and calm like a breath against my ear. But whenever I turned around, nothing. I set up cameras around the apartment, syncing them to an old tablet. I left them running all night. Around 2 a.m., one of them flickered. The hallway cam, I tapped it. The feed was static, then frame by frame it returned. There I was, standing in the hallway. Except I wasn't. I was still in bed. The figure didn't move. Just stared at the bedroom door, at me, then slowly erased one hand. Pressed its palm flat against the camera. The feed cut out again. I sprinted into the hallway with a kitchen knife in hand, but found only the camera, still running, still recording. No one there. But something had been watching. Something had learned how to use the cameras just like I had. Later that night, I turned on my phone again, front camera facing me. I needed proof. But this time, it didn't just appear behind me. It was me, not blurry, not distant. An exact replica matching every detail, every scar, every wrinkle in my shirt. But it didn't move when I did. It stared motionless. Then it smiled first. Before I could react, I dropped the phone, backed away, then I heard it. A second set of footsteps, mirroring mine, not echoing, copying. And this time, I didn't turn around, because I knew if I did, I wouldn't be able to unsee what was waiting there. I sealed the doors, taped the windows, covered every screen, every reflective surface, but it didn't matter anymore. It wasn't using the reflections it had learned from them. It had studied me, watched me, practiced wearing my skin like a second outfit. And now, it didn't need glass to be seen. My friend called again. Her voice was trembling. She said I'd come to her place last night, that I stood outside her door for over an hour, not knocking, not saying a word, just staring through the peephole. She said she could hear breathing, but when she checked her camera this morning, no one was there. No trace. Not even footprints. She blocked my number this morning. Said she didn't want to be part of my game anymore. But I haven't left my apartment in days. Last night, I tried filming myself again, one last time. I set my phone on the dresser, front camera facing the bed, and hit record. I climbed under the sheets, turned off the light, and pretended to sleep. Hours passed. Nothing. Then just past 3 a.m., the sheet beside me shifted. The phone's red light blinked off. I hadn't moved. I played the footage back, my body sleeping. Still. Then the camera shook subtly at first, as if someone had picked it up. Slowly, the camera turned pointed directly at my face. And there I was, awake, eyes open, smiling. But I don't remember smiling. I don't remember waking up. And now, I don't remember recording this. I don't know if I'm the one telling you this story, or if I'm the one still watching it from the shadows.